same reason, like if, you know, I would
well,
be
I'm
morally
telling you,
to
listen,
Hamas or-
okay, hold on. Bronson, honestly.
For those of you who don't know this moron, this is Sam Seder. He keeps inviting libertarians to come on his show and debate. But he never gives them a fair shake. He interrupts them, he never lets them actually make a point, and he strawmans them every chance he gets. Let me give you just one example. This wasn't a caller, but this was an even better situation for the libertarian. In the 2016 presidential candidates debate, Darrell W. Perry gave an answer about the roads. Here it is with Seder's response.
We're in a hotel. Hotels thrive on having customers stay in their hotel, which means people need to get to their hotel, which means that people are probably coming to visit and do stuff. All of these places thrive on customers, meaning that they need a flat surface for all of their customers to come and go from. Businesses will be incentivized to have these flat surfaces called roads. We don't need to steal the money. Let the people who thrive from them pay for them. Voluntarily, of course.
So what he's suggesting is, in places that attract tourism, you'll be able to get maybe a big hotel company that will pay for a road. Now, do you think the hotel company is going to pay for the road to go anywhere but directly to their hotel?
This wasn't anywhere near what was said. He was talking about all businesses in all places and just using hotels as an example. Walmart or businesses in a strip mall or even just individual businesses in a certain area all would have a big financial incentive to chip in to make a road so customers could get there and do business. Seder didn't even attempt to answer on the basis of what Perry said. He deliberately strawmanned him for the purpose of ridicule, which he proceeds to do over the course of his response.
Oh, I know what it is. If you have a fire going on in your house, then you could decide to build a road from the fire department to your house. That could work out well.
Because he doesn't have a response to what Perry really said. Keep that in mind as we look at what Seder thinks is this amazing challenge that libertarians just haven't met.
You're sitting at home, maybe going into your tech company, who knows?
Yes, he's playing cheesy music in the background. In fact, he actually created 13 seconds of dead air to cue up the music. 'Cause, you know, he's a radio professional.
With a lot of ideas that you think could solve all this.
And right off the bat, we see that despite all the libertarians that have attempted to call his show and explain things to him, he doesn't understand the first bit of it. We don't have some idea that we think will solve everything, and we don't think anyone else does either. We have some ideas for how you might solve some things, but those are just examples. What we want is to set all of the minds in the country, indeed all of the minds in the world, free to come up with solutions. Then we can try the ones that work and discard the ones that don't. And maybe it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Maybe one idea will work best for one group, while a completely different idea works best for another. And the only way you can sort all of that out is with a free market, where people can try different ideas on their own and decide for themselves what works best for their own lives.
Ideas like the non-aggression principle.
That's not what the non-aggression principle is. The NAP is two things. It's an ethical principle derived from first principles, which should guide your thinking on these issues. And it's a way of achieving what I just said, getting rid of the barriers people face in trying to solve the issues facing their own lives. It's not a per se solution.
The idea that taxation is theft.
That's just a simple statement of fact, not an idea for solving anything.
The idea that people should have some personal responsibility.
Okay, that's one you got right.
Property rights are über alles.
Uh-huh. Nice use of German there to try to discredit it. But the only alternative to property rights is slavery to some degree. Because if you want to deprive someone of their own legitimately obtained property, then you are claiming ownership over some part of their lives, and therefore over some part of them. And claiming ownership of someone, even partially, is slavery. By definition!
Look, call into this show, 646-257-3920, after 1 p.m. most days, and we can have a conversation.
You've proven that this is the last thing you want. Many libertarians have tried, and yet, to this day, you either don't understand even the basics of what we've said, or everything you've just said is a deliberate straw man of libertarian philosophy. That's why you had to make this appeal, to make it appear as though we're the ones who don't want a conversation and you do. No! We're the ones constantly trying to further the conversation and take it beyond the kindergarten thinking and petty sound bites that you and your ilk on both sides of the aisle engage in.
Where I'll be respectful.
Well, that would be a nice change for you.
And you'll be intellectual.
We always are, but for some reason, statists never seem to want to respond in kind. What you're really doing here is a hideous poisoning the well as an ad hominem against the character of libertarians who have tried to have this conversation with you, and you kept derailing them at every turn. You're good at having the appearance of being respectful, but you're no good at actually having a conversation where you actually listen to what the other person says and respond on that basis. In that regard, you're no different from Kent Hovind.
Please, if you're a libertarian out there, call in. It's been too long.
Maybe they haven't been calling in because they don't like being interrupted, only to have you accuse them of interrupting you, or maybe they don't like being ridiculed as you throw a straw man version of their argument back at them, or maybe they're tired of having the long-debunked social contract shoved in their face every time you realize you're losing the argument. You haven't even tried to educate yourself about these things because that would take away the only responses you have. You are the one who has constantly shown yourself to be unreasonable and unwilling to have an intelligent discussion.
It's also possible that maybe none exist anymore because they got Trump and they were happy.
Anyone who looks at libertarians on YouTube, or websites like Fee, or radio shows like Free Talk Live, where they actually do listen to, consider, and respond to what people actually say, or any other place where libertarians engage in real conversations, knows that this is not in any way true. So you didn't even bother to look. That tells people everything they need to know about you. If you really want to further this conversation, then instead of arrogantly making videos like this to make yourself look good, why don't you look at some of the copious video, audio, and text material that libertarians like me have made to explain these concepts on an intellectual basis from the ground up, and then respond to that on your show? Because we've made our case, so here's our challenge to you. You want to be part of the conversation? Then take a look at all that and catch up to the discussion as it is developed to date. Don't straw man us or twist our words or take us out of context. Respond to what we actually say. If you were really interested in having this conversation, that's what you do. So why don't you? So that's it for another video. If you liked it, please hit like and subscribe, and support this channel by donating with PayPal or crypto, or become a patron. And please check out my video, Libertarianism and Property Rights from First Principles, as well as this other video selected just for you.